And a lot of people ask us why we moved. When we met and we decided to get married, we decided to stay in the United States because we thought that there was better opportunity there, and that it would be a better future for our daughter. We were pretty settled. But as time went on, it began to get more and more difficult to make ends meet. And when we started to think about the future, think about retirement and what we wanted to do and what we wanted the second half of our life to be, there was nothing in America that was offering us any kind of security incentive. Really, it's really set up for the average person to work till they're close to death. And if I get sick or my husband gets sick, we're going to have to sell our house in order to pay for it. Or if we're you know my parents' age in their 60s or 70s when we die, and my daughter has to be the one that has to take care of us and has to uh the financial burden, the emotional burden, all that kind of stuff. And even though we had retirement plans and things like that, and we were doing everything right, it just wasn't in the cards to have a comfortable life in our older age. And we had tried to throw around a bunch of stuff, moving to different areas in the US and things like that to try to help us. And then there's not one, but two times where my daughter's school was in lockdown because of an active shooter in the neighborhood of her school. Twice. That's terrifying. The first time is terrifying enough. And then it happened a second time. Luckily, the shooter never got anywhere near the school. All the children and faculty were safe, and we're one of the lucky ones where it didn't actually get to the point where there was a school shooting. But it started to make us think about how unsafe we really are in America. I know that my daughter, who's only 12 at this point, is going to have to live in that environment for the rest of her life. The scale has started to tip more towards leaving the United States. There's no way that she would be able to financially and emotionally take care of two sick parents, no matter what her situation was. There's no way that she would have been able to have an opportunity to live without constantly being in fear of, some violence erupting, for even with no fault of her own or no involvement of her own, but just erupting around her, and her being, an innocent bystander or an innocent victim in it all. Really no way for my husband and I to have a comfortable, calm life that we wanted to have, in the second half of our life. And so we had to make some dramatic choices and some dramatic changes. And it just came down to the point of what was the most viable option for all of us to have the best life moving forward. We're lucky. We're one of the fortunate ones. We actually have an escape plan that was viable and was something that we were able to take advantage of. But a lot of people in America don't have this. A lot of people in America don't have the option of just up and leaving. They don't have the option of migrating, even, across state lines, because they can't get work, or they can't leave a family member who's sick behind, or not sick behind, right? They don't want to leave life that they've built. It's a really difficult decision. We could not live there anymore and feel safe and feel like our daughter was safe and feel like we had a future that we wouldn't have had to settle for. But guns and healthcare, those are the biggest things that made us leave.